All right, everybody, welcome to the first episode of Genesis TV. I'm your host, Aurora Alexander. I'm here with Ramona Braganza.
Hello, everybody. Excited to be here.
That's right, Hollywood trainer. You guys saw her video. It was one of her most popular videos when she stopped by the West Broadway store to pick up, what was it, collagen you were picking up?
I was getting collagen and a liver cleanse.
That's right, collagen and a liver cleanse
Yeah.
from all the drinking a little too much sake in the sushi bars. That's right. So today you've agreed to join us to talk about a few subjects before you're heading off to your travels yet again.
Yes, I go to Ontario and then I go to LA, back to LA.
Yeah, and you've been in LA for quite a while.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah.
I've been living in New York City working with Michael Weatherly on Bull.
Okay.
So we did that for the whole year, and now I'm ready to go back and see some of my good clients from before, hopefully, or just get some new ones.
Any stars we should be knowing about? You're not allowed to say?
I don't know anybody yet. Actually, I'm waiting till I get there, and then I usually go knocking on their door or pressing their buzzer and saying, I'm back.
There you go. Okay. So what we're going to talk about today really quick, we have a few subjects I want to go through. But the first one, I think a lot of people want to know, how does one become a celebrity trainer?
I think the interesting thing is I never really wanted to become a celebrity trainer. I didn't even really want to become a trainer, but I've always been in fitness. I was a gymnast my whole life from the ages of 4 to 18.
Okay.
And then I went into dancing. I was an NFL cheerleader for 10 years. And then I went on to do
With the Raiders?
With the Raiders, yeah. And during that time I was doing the fitness contest circuit because I could tumble and so, so I think I literally tumbled into my career. I was one of those things where I am happiest working out. I'm really good at motivating people. My first celebrity was Jessica Alba, and she was 17 years old. I happened to know somebody who was using her on a film, and I was going to be their trainer. So it just was a perfect timing and luck and lots of things, but and loving what I do.
Now, was your home always in Vancouver? Is that your main place? Because you trained with Jessica here.
Yes, so I grew up in Ontario, and
Okay.
then at 18, or actually 20, I moved to LA. I wanted to be an actress, and I went there. I lived there for 20 years, and during that time, I shifted from acting to dancing to becoming a trainer. And then I was offered a job with Jessica back in Vancouver, and I'd never come to Vancouver, and it was my first time seeing Vancouver, and I thought, wow, this is beautiful, and I'm gonna buy my condo here. So that's kind of nice. I'm kind of bi-coastal and bi-city, and yeah.
So then you went from Jessica Alba. She was the first one. Who was your second celebrity?
Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel. That was on Blade 3. That was her and Ryan Reynolds. See a little bit of video on that.
And then from there, I actually built a fitness trailer. So it's a 52-foot fitness truck.
Yeah. And that's here in BC.
It is, and it works. It's called Mobile Physique, and it works on big budget movies. So we got a job on X-Men. I actually realized I probably couldn't train Hugh Jackman. He's a tall guy like you and big muscles, and I needed to get a guy to train Hugh Jackman. So I introduced him to a trainer. They worked together on 2 films, and in the meantime I got Halle Berry, and then I went on to Kate Beckinsale and Scarlett Johansson and so many more.
Wow. Okay, so basically you've done really well. Your focus, would you say, is more on the women than the guys?
Yeah, I think
you have done guys.
Yes, I have done guys.
Yeah. She likes to do guys. But more than the girls.
That's another show. I actually like to train women. I was a Raiderette for many years, and I feel there's a lot of knowing about women's personality and how to motivate them. And just because I'm a woman, I'm very comfortable in the environment with training a woman.
So let's talk about that actually then. So what are the main differences? Are there any differences training? Like, what is it when you're training a woman in particular? What are some of the what's the differences between men and women training?
Other than really, I would say some of the mental differences. So the way women and men are different anyway, and putting them in a gym setting, I find with women, I have to keep them a lot more focused on the movement and going forward because we end up talking a lot. But I think women in general are nervous about getting muscle tone.
Yes.
But the only time I train women is when they have to look good for a role. So someone like Paula Patton on World of Warcraft, if you saw her body, she was very, very muscular, very defined. And that program, a hypertrophy program, was something that I used with her, where I would use that also with a guy.
Okay.
Now, if you have an actress who doesn't want to have necessarily, like Jessica Alba for years, she didn't look big and muscular. Halle Berry doesn't look big and muscular.
Yeah.
They have tone and definition. So that's when I would use more cardio, more core training, my 3-2-1 program. And that doesn't always work for men because men do want to have more muscle tone. And if I do too much cardio with a guy,
Yeah.
they start to, it's counterproductive.
Okay.
So I find training women to look lean and strong and fit is something that I aspire to, and I know how I do it for me, so I do it with them.
Gotcha. Now, are you a big fan of weight training for women, though?
Yes.
Yeah. So you think it's really important? Like you
Yes.
said, do you ever find, do you ever find they fight back a little bit when you talk about any weight training? Do you sneak in the weight training through your circuits?
Oh yeah, I have to do weight training with the women, and I
Yeah.
do legs, not as a legs day,
Okay.
because I find that's when maybe more mass comes on to your quads and
Oh,
your
okay.
hamstrings, and I'm trying to keep their legs still feminine. And so then I add a bit more cardio, or I'll do legs every day within their circuit of upper body to body parts.
Okay.
So I've sort of moved things around and made it just as intense, but more higher burning, like calorie burning.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Now, you also developed, so the 3-2-1, that's 3 cardios,
2 circuit
2
and 1
circuits,
core.
and 1 core. And then you, from there, that's kind of your trademark program that you use with most people, you said.
Yeah.
Now, but from there, you also developed the A Baby Bulge Be Gone
Right.
program, right? And
Right.
who was that created for? Like, was there a particular person?
Well, I was working with Jessica and Halle at the same time, and both
Okay.
got pregnant at the same time, and both told me a month later that they were both pregnant. So I'd already been just training them normally, and suddenly in the middle of all the walking lunges, Jessica said, "Oh, by the way, I'm 3 months pregnant, or 2 months pregnant."
Okay.
And I said, "You should tell your trainer these sort of things."
Yeah, it's amazing that they don't tell you those sorts of things, isn't it?
Yeah, and so I guess it was a program developed while I was doing the 3-2-1 anyway, but I adjusted to make it convenient for the mothers.
Yeah, now my question to you is, what sort of stuff, so a woman's had a baby, and what sort of things does she have to be more aware of? Like, what's the difference in the Baby Bulge Be Gone program versus the 3-2-1? What sort of
I
concessions?
mean, there's so many things, depending if she delivers naturally or C-section.
Okay.
I haven't had many C-section clients, mostly
Okay.
naturally.
Okay.
So as soon as the doctor says it's okay for them to work out, which is sometimes as early as 2 weeks, you're able to train them. However, there are some things you have to be aware of. They might have had stitches, or they might have, so you can get some bleeding post 2 weeks. You can also get, like, the relaxin in the body is still there, and that's the hormone that makes everything very loose.
Yeah.
So you're prone to overstretching,
Okay.
and you don't want to do that. And
Yeah.
then I would say their stamina after carrying a baby for 9 months and all the blood that's been in their body, everything is much harder to start back up again.
Oh, okay. And I guess because they're looser, their stability would be off
Yes,
too. So you have to
yes,
be
the
careful
balance
not
and
having to do a lot of
stability
heavy
and-
stuff right then. So would the Baby Bulge Be Gone program a little more focus on stability sort of exercises?
So it's a 12-week program.
Okay.
But some moms, if you gain more than 25 pounds, which is the average, if you gain 40 pounds, I just worked with Ashley Simpson Ross
Okay.
a year and a half ago, and she had her second baby, and she gained about 50 pounds,
Okay.
which we lost in 5 months.
Wow. Okay.
So you can lose 1 to 2 pounds, especially if you're breastfeeding, because that's about 500 calories each time you feed. So that's a lot of calories or pump, So it's basically working out without working out.
Yeah.
But on top of that, you're eating more so that you can sustain the milk.
Yeah.
So it's a
Okay.
delicate balance of how much to eat and how much to train, or calorie counting. As far as the program, the first 4 weeks or 1 month starts with the core only. So it's 20
Okay.
minutes a day, and it's focused on your core, your pelvic floor, breathing. It's just gently getting you into a habit of exercising 5 days a week for
Okay.
20 minutes a day. There is a little bit of cardio and a little bit of strength training, but not a lot.
Okay.
The second phase, phase 2,
So
is
it's just starting at week 5.
yes,
Yeah.
5 to 9
Yeah.
is basically cardio. So you're going to do a lot more cardio. And we're going
Okay.
to do things like 40-minute workout.
Okay.
Then the third phase is actually strength training. So you're going to build muscle tone and back to the 3-2-1.
Okay, very nice. Now, do you do any sort of nutrition consulting with people at all, or do you leave that more up to the dietitian?
I do it if it's needed.
Okay.
Many of my clients are very good at nutrition. They are often given free supplements and free this and free that and knowledge, and they read, and so they're pretty boned up on their on the stuff that's in the West. They don't know a lot maybe about stuff that's coming from the East, you know,
Okay.
and if you travel, then you start to find a lot more about things in the world.
Yeah.
But my clients, they get nutrition counseling if I feel like they need it. So for example, I'll introduce really unique things. So with Jessica Alba, she never ate sardines, and
Okay.
being from Portugal and eating sardines a lot, one day I was eating sardines and she thought they weren't very, she was like, why do you eat that? And I said, well, calcium and good for your bones and the fish oil.
Yeah,
and
all the omega-3s.
and I think she kind of walked away. She was probably 20 years old, and now at 35, if you go to her house, there's sardine cans in there.
Oh, okay.
So I think we all learn as we
Yeah,
go.
she's become quite a healthy since then, right?
Yeah.
She's got her, what's the company she has that makes all the healthy baby
She
products
has
and stuff?
The Honest Company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's all like healthy.
It's all organic and
Organic. Is it food or
textile.
is it like?
No, so it started with baby products.
Okay.
And it went into household products.
Okay.
And it now includes makeup, hair, clothing.
Okay, it's everything. Now, speaking of diet, is there any kind of particular diet you stick to? I remember in India we talked a little bit about that, and there really isn't. What's your kind of view when it comes to
Right.
both eating and supplementation?
So in my 20s, when I was a Raiderette,
Yeah.
we had to wear the little uniform every weekend, or at least twice a month, because we only did the home games.
Okay, because you're
And
cheerleader, you're head cheerleader.
Yeah, I was a
Yeah.
cheerleader, and it shows your stomach, which is my worst area. And I went through so much stress and dieting. You know, I tried the Pritikin diet, I tried vegetarianism, I tried Pritikin, vegetarian. Oh,
What's
the
a
Beverly.
pretty? What's a pretty?
Pritikin was an institution there
Oh,
that
okay.
I believe Pritikin started.
Okay.
And the food was very bland, and I remember it was the 80s in LA, and it was a place where a lot of people that were heavier would go to. Rodney Dangerfield was often there.
Oh, okay.
And it was so bland that nobody could stick to it.
Yeah.
And then the Beverly Hills diet was pineapple and papayas for I think 3 weeks.
Oh.
And by the first week, my mouth was so raw and sore from
all
the
the acid.
enzyme. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a good one. I think you try so many things, and then you realize one day I was in the gym. I think it was 24-hour fitness, and a trainer there told me, you know, in order to change your body, you actually have to eat to benefit that. And so he really, as a trainer, showed me how to eat more for fitness contests, so
Mhm.
very lean.
Okay.
So if I went out with the Raiderettes for breakfast after practice, they would all have pancakes and eggs and all these things with like lots of sauce and lots of butter, and I would have my plain pancakes with no butter and just some fruit. So I
Gotcha.
started in my 20s eating like that, and then I
Okay.
really never went away from that because I saw what it did for me. It kept
Mm.
my weight normal,
Yeah.
and now I think I'm not as strict,
Yeah.
but I definitely do 2 or 3 days on a program and then a day off. I mean,
Okay.
you can cycle.
So, what are your favorite little like
I'm such a boring eater.
not quite healthy foods?
Oh,
What
not
are-
quite healthy. I was gonna
Not
tell you my
quite
healthy
healthy.
stuff. What I love.
Yeah. What do you love?
Do you know I love everything that's good for you? It's really sad. I
You
love
do, actually. You're
salmon.
quite good eater, yeah.
Okay, so salmon, broccoli, asparagus, blueberries, oranges, oatmeal. I mean, that's all the stuff that I really eat a lot of, but it's crazy. But then when I'm splurging, I have red wine, I have chocolate, I have I have sushi rice.
We do a lot of sushi.
And there's nothing really bad about it. We
No,
try for the brown rice.
You're in a good position where you consider sushi like a junk food. That's a pretty and with the brown rice or the black rice.
Yes.
I remember the very first thing you said when I
Yes.
got back to Vancouver is let's go for some black rice sushi, which we
Yeah.
still haven't been yet.
Maybe we'll go after
yeah,
this.
maybe after this. We keep missing the black rice. So, so any supplements in particular? So you said you did the collagen, and then how is your detox going? Although I did notice somebody had a beer the other day on her detox, which
I'm wondering how long this detox
That
has
was
to
on
go
Instagram,
for.
I think.
Yeah, and because like I said, I think I'm as strict, and then there's times where it's a social thing. And for me, I'm not going to enter a fitness contest, and I don't have any major cholesterol or diseases that I need to address, so diabetes. So if you have those things, you have to be on it 90% of the time.
Yeah.
But as somebody who just tries to live a healthy lifestyle, and every now and then I'm that social person, I think there has to be that place in your head where you don't go overboard. You just kind of reel it back the next day.
Okay.
So, what was the question?
The supplements you like.
The supplements I like, I do one a day.
So multivitamin.
Multivitamin.
Fish oil? Or?
Fish oil. I eat so much salmon
yeah.
that I feel I'm okay. But for my hair, biotin I take.
Okay.
I've heard that makes your hair grow.
Yeah.
Then I have the collagen added. Now I have what else? There is one that I really like called Celgevity.
Okay.
It has ribosine in it,
Okay.
which is very good for joints. And I found taking it now that my knee, I no longer need to have to wear a knee wrap.
Oh, okay.
So I think some of science, I need to investigate more why it happens.
Yeah.
And maybe we can ask actually Zach.
Yeah, we can ask Zach or Ethan.
You know about
They're both,
ribosine,
yeah, they're both pretty good.
But I've noticed that the year of taking it, it was introduced to me in New York City when I was with Michael Weatherly, and I could go running every single day for 20 to 30 minutes, and I didn't have to wear my knee wrap.
Hey, Zach, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Come up here for a sec. Come and say hello. Ramona had a quick question for you, actually. We were just talking about it.
Ribosine.
Harry, come on over here.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Ribosine. Do you know what that is?
Ribosine?
Yeah,
No.
it's a ribose, and it's actually...
D-ribose, I
Oh yeah,
guess.
D-ribose, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that name, but I do know D-ribose quite well.
Okay.
And what's
and
it? Sorry.
Like supposedly, as you age, you lose it naturally.
Yeah.
So this is supplementing it back in, and I've had less knee trouble. I have an ACL, and my
Okay.
knee is much more sturdy, and I can no pain-free. So
Nice, that's great. Yeah, well essentially if it is D-ribose helps support the mitochondria at a cellular level. So the mitochondria is essentially the engine of every cell. So you're supplying more food to every cell in your body. So if you're in a state of repair, your cells are going to be able to repair themselves at a much faster rate. If you're doing various forms of activity, you're going to fatigue a lot slower or less. Yeah, that's essentially it.
so I've been taking that.
Okay.
I love
Nice.
it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course,
Mr.
anytime.
Encyclopedia of
He
knowledge.
is. He said that much better than I could. So the ribose.
Yeah, the Celgevity it's called, and then
for the hair.
the biotin, and then the multivitamin, because I feel I eat a lot of fish oils, collagen. I think that's it.
Now, what about You've done a lot of people. A lot of people don't know this, but you do a lot of stuff in India now,
Yes.
and you've really got into the Ayurvedic. So,
Right.
So you see, got a whole bunch of different Ayurvedic stuff back here.
So by the way, because my mom is from India,
Yeah.
I grew up eating dal.
Okay.
Dal. My favorite thing is dal. And
Okay.
dal has a lot of turmeric in it. So
Yeah. Can you have turmeric? You eat a lot of turmeric, correct?
it goes into the dal.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other one is ghee. We have some ghee hiding around.
The ghee is new because
Yeah.
my mom never really used ghee. I think
Okay.
there was a point where ghee was bad.
Oh,
It was
really?
actually, we got rid of ghee because it was too heavy in the fats, and nobody really understood, just like we got rid of butter, it's like get rid of those things and introduce this.
So in India, you got. I can't believe it's not ghee.
Maybe. No, now they've discovered,
Yeah, now they
because
discovered ghee's back
we're
again.
smarter now,
Yeah.
that the ghee is actually very good.
Yeah.
I think anything too much, sometimes they fry their food in India,
Yeah.
and when they do that, I feel that that's what's causing a lot of the conditions, but
Yeah.
they're also genetic. So I'm genetically predisposed to all of it. Diabetes, heart disease, cholesterol, blood pressure, because Indians in general have
Yeah.
that in our genes.
So what is it about the Ayurvedic that you like so much? Besides that, it just tastes good.
I did it in
Yeah.
a setting in, where were we in?
It was in Bangalore.
Bangalore.
Just outside Bangalore.
And it was 3 days of it, and I felt already completely different. We ate foods that were prepared in an Ayurvedic,
100% vegetarian.
and also just the spices, and they do a sour and a sweet and different types of things. They did a testing on my body heat,
Yeah.
and that's what the whole program is based on.
What was your dosha? Do you remember?
I believe I was part Vata and Pitta.
Okay, so that's
Vata is hot.
yeah, that's the fire.
Yeah.
And then what's the other
Pitta.
one? Which is the air?
There's Kapha also.
I can't remember that.
Vata,
Because
Pitta,
one's
and
air,
Kapha.
one's fire, and one's water.
Okay.
So I can't remember which all three of them are right now. So.
And really only the doctors know what that means. I
Yeah.
mean, we can know what we are, but then it's
Yeah.
like, now what? So
Yeah,
when you were there, they give you the food and they give you the prescription.
Yeah, because they actually prescribe your food too.
Yes.
Your,
And then they do
shot.
the oil treatments, and all the oils have herbs specific to your condition, and they do massages. So I had like the dropping of the oil on the, this is a very calming, it's called panchakaram, and it drops the oil right here. And then there's the double massage, and hopefully if somebody's watching this and knows the Ayurveda, they're not like, that's not panchakaram, this is the double massage is panchakaram. So anyway, all of it gets the oil into your body with the herbs and starts acting on your organs and everything, and the heat in your body, and you feel great after 3 days of treatments.
Yeah, so you're going to go back and do it again?
Yes, I'm planning to use a lot of their principles in
Okay.
the future with my clients. So,
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to get back to your, because you were talking about your knee and you were using the ribos for your knee. So you overall, you're pretty much, you know, a lot of people nowadays, they're just like hit all the time. Everything's hard. People just seem to get injured all the time. So, you know, I know so many people that as soon as they hit 40, 42, 43, they can't even train anymore. You've been consistently training now. You're past 40. You've been consistently training for quite a while now.
I'm past 50.
She's past 50. I wasn't going to say it, but we'll let her say it. So you're past 50. What are the secrets to pain-free training?
Right.
Like
So
how is
my
it you're not
workout week,
ripped
well,
out
my
shoulders?
workout week will have everything from hiking Grouse Mountain to taking at least 2 or 3 yoga classes, a couple hathas and a yin.
Okay.
It'll include walking as a workout. It'll include 3 gym sessions. And I did a dance class last week. I was looking to do some rock climbing. I mean, really, you're cross-training your body, so nothing gets used to exertion, like to overdo it. You want to always mix up your workouts so that you don't overdo the same muscle
Yeah,
training.
so you're all about just mixing everything up, so you're not just doing one style all the time. Where that's where people tend to get hurt, right? Is when these usually what they call the overuse injuries. They just keep doing the same thing again and again. Because I know, like you know, you'll go dancing, like you said, and then you know you go paddleboarding, and then you do kickboxing. So how important is actually being active? So there's 2 kinds of active, right? There's active, like just having an active, like stand-up paddleboarding and stuff like that, and then there's being in the gym. Right? Which one would you say that you would lean more towards now? Is it an equal amount? Is it more?
Yeah, I think
Is it
as
the
long as,
grind?
like I have sort of a philosophy, you have to do at least 2 hard days a week.
Okay.
So for me, a hard day is the grind, and maybe a kickboxing, boxing session with you, Roar.
Okay.
Now those will be 2 days in my week where I know I've torched 1,000 calories or 800 calories, because at the end of the day, if it's a weight loss program, you're trying to maintain your weight, you do need to burn these calories. So standing on a paddleboard is very zen, it has its reasons, and I love it, and it gets you outdoors, but it's not necessarily got the function you want for like the weight loss program. So, and stretching for me, I'm a huge believer in stretching.
Yeah.
So the benefit of a yoga class taught to me, the Hatha yoga, also has balance training in there.
Yeah.
It also has breathing, so that is a great component. And then the gym stuff, I'll go and lift weights. I have to keep my strength up.
Yeah.
The worst thing is lifting a suitcase out of a taxi and like you can't do it. That's horrible. You want to be able to grab it and put it on the ground. So I like to maintain my strength, and that's 3 days a week at least.
Gotcha. And then you talk about grabbing a suitcase. You travel a lot.
I do.
How often of the year are you actually traveling? Like how often? So your condo, as you said earlier, your condo, apartment, whatever, it's in Vancouver.
Yes.
But how many weeks are you really in Vancouver on average?
I don't know. If I have a movie, I did 50 Shades of Grey. I would train Dakota and Jamie in my trailer, and I was here for 5 months.
Okay.
So then I was in New York before that for a year, and then I went to Ontario for a bit. So for me, my life on the road is part of my global fitness expert title, and I also do a lot of it for work, and I also do a lot of it for knowledge. I love to learn, and travel really opens your mind.
But how do you stay in such good shape when you travel? Because you never seem to have a really, you know, a lot of people, they oh, I travel, so I can't eat, I can't control it. Like, they blame everything on travel. It's travel's fault, right? So, because it's such an easy out, and people accept it. It's like, oh, okay, he travels, and he's spending, you know, 2 months on the road. But you stay in very good shape, and you keep up with your nutrition when you travel.
I think what I do is I try to not let my brain rule my decisions.
Okay.
So I let this, my gut, really rule it. So if I'm sitting on a plane for 12 hours and I know I'm going to land, and what's the worst thing I can do is lie in a bed for 8 hours.
Yep.
All your body's done is eat all that food on the plane. You probably didn't hydrate, you probably drank. And now you're going to arrive, and now you're going to lie down in a bed.
Yeah.
And probably you've had 24 hours of the worst thing your body could go through. So my mind may be wanting to go to sleep, but this here feels completely off. So I'll force myself to go on a walk just to get some movement for my back or stretch or something. And I think you have to know that this talks a lot louder than this if you listen to it.
Yeah.
You know what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
And this will say, do that another time. So it's a very Joseph Campbell thing, but he talks about being your power and who you are comes from this part of your body.
It comes from the gut.
It comes from the guts.
Oh, very interesting. And then, do you take anything with you in your travel? Do you have like a little band or jump ropes? Like a little
Normally,
kit?
I research where I'm going to see what's local.
Yep.
Like if I'm going to Bavaria, Germany, where I was born, hiking is really big there.
Okay.
So I would rather do what's there in the place than tote a lot of stuff with me, but I do bring a jump rope.
Okay.
So if I'm going to the island, like the Bahamas, and I'll bring a jump rope. Can't really carry any weight, so I'll bring a band.
Okay.
And then usually they have a little gym there with a ball and some weights. And I'll just, if I can't get there, I'll do something. At least jump rope. I mean, I love jump rope.
Yeah. Okay.
And push-ups are great.
Yeah. Push-ups. Can't go wrong with push-ups.
You don't really need equipment a lot of
No,
times.
you really don't. No, I think a jump rope, usually all I'll take is a jump rope, a band, and then quite often I'll take like a ball or like a mini foam roller sort of thing, and that's usually about it.
And that's great on the plane. So the little round, hard balls,
Yeah.
there is a name for those balls. They're so good for your spine on the plane. You can just put it
Is it
right.
the two that's together, or
It's
just a
just
single
one single hard, the ball that's really kind of a good strength.
Okay, yeah,
Or even
I
a
got the
tennis
yoga
ball.
ball. It's called the yoga. I got one that's called the yoga ball. It's like
Okay.
it's a fairly dense, but
Yes.
still got a little bit of pressure. Yeah, I think that's like a jump
For
roller
traveling,
ball or
that's the
something.
best.
Yeah. Worst case, I guess you can do a cross ball. That's what a lot of
Yeah.
people use too. Now, India is where you do a lot of your stuff right now. You do a lot of traveling in India. How has India, or has it at all, changed your perception of health and fitness?
Yes, because even though I'm from India, my parents are, I was born in Germany, so I'm very Western in my, in everything, in nutrition and in training. And when you get there and you take the yoga class there, the one that I took was basically a lot of shavasana
Yep.
and no power. There was not a lot of power. They have a different style of approaching yoga, as it was initially called yoga, not yoga. And I think it's a traditional way, and it does the same benefits, but without the stress factor. So when I take a power yoga, I think my stress level goes up a little bit, and I'm actually producing a little cortisol while I'm trying to hold a posture for a minute, on a balance, or if it's so fast that I can't breathe right with it. Whereas there, it's a lot of room for breathing, a lot of room for detoxification, I feel.
Yeah. Well, I guess here, because when I was with you in India, the biggest complaints they had was that here we treat yoga as a fitness. We've westernized. It's got to be fitness. We have power, and everything's got to be fast and hard. And we just turn it into an exercise program.
Yeah.
Where they're much more, like you said, on the breathing, on the visualization, and the meditation side.
Yes. So meditation, and you and I went to a pyramid and meditated in a pyramid.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of opportunities.
No Wi-Fi, nothing there.
A lot of opportunities for unique ways to expand your mind as well as your body. So while fitness is starting there, and there's a lot of gyms opening with, I would say, no female trainers, only male trainers, which is so opposite of what we have here. We have a lot of females teaching yoga and teaching aerobics, and there it's all the men.
All men.
All men.
Like
so
guys.
that was interesting because just as a cultural thing, I would not have a job if I was living there.
Yeah.
Or I'd be the only one doing my job.
You'd be the only one there.
Lifting weights. I have found a few girls that lift weights.
Yeah, finally. So, what then? I guess the last question is, what have you, from what you've learned in the East and in India, you were saying that you were bringing it back to some of your clients now. What kind of stuff do you think that we need back here? Like,
I think more balance and a more relaxed view of fitness.
Okay.
I think fitness it's very hard. It's very easy for younger people. You know, the harder and the higher and the this and the faster. It's all about that performance level and competitiveness. And that makes people who aren't in that space anymore, 40 and up, very uncomfortable because either they have to go to a CrossFit gym and keep up with all of this stuff, or they have to, you know, find other ways to stay in shape.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a lost area because we do still want to do stuff, but we have to relax with the thinking like we have to get it done and we have to look like we did when 20. It's not about that anymore. It's really about your health because we want to live till 90 or 100
and
we want
live well.
and live well. We want to be mobile. We want to be flexible. You want to have some balance. You want to have a little muscle tone, and your heart should be strong enough. And those are the things that I focus on. Now my clients are probably sometimes in their 20s.
Yep.
So I have to train them for what my job is. But for most of the people I meet, I say it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. And you know, we've been over to India and they walk so much in India, they eat not as much, or, you know, it's just a balance.
Yeah, they're just movement in general is higher and their serving sizes are smaller. That's all over Southeast Asia. Yeah, for sure.
And you see overweight sometimes people, but that's because a lot of the fast food industry is now moving to Mumbai, and people find it very fun to go to McDonald's.
Yeah, no, that's the same way. Even they were talking about in Okinawa, like the Okinawan diet is just dying because, you know, all the newer, younger kids are all in the McDonald's and the Burger King. So, thank you, West.
But now here in the West, we're actually bringing all of the Eastern healthy over, so that's a good thing because this will make us realize that these are roots and natural plants that we don't get here normally, moringa and everything. Yep. Although moringa does grow, I guess, in the U.S.
Yeah, it does. It does. Well, I guess it would be in the southern U.S. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's still not super well known yet.
So the good news is with the internet and with the ability to go with foods around the world, we can actually include all that in our cooking. And so if you want my mom's dal recipe, I will share that.
Oh, there we go. We'll have to post that. Maybe we'll send that to the newsletter. So if you sign up, we'll send it to the newsletter. That's a good idea. So if you guys sign up, you can give us your email next time you're in a store, and we will send you her mom's.
Oh, by the way, my mom is 83. She is a Zumba/senior fitness instructor. She teaches 14 classes a week to senior homes in Brockville, Ontario. And the most amazing thing is she's outlived her entire family except for one sibling. Wow. They all died in their 50s from various cardiac and this and that. And my mom, because she's strength trained starting at 50, right till she was 70, she had an open bypass surgery for quadruple bypass and was right away back in the gym. Yep. And now 83, she outruns me, and I'm looking going, okay, is it your doll?
Yeah.
Is it the doll? I don't know.
It might be. Now you'll have the recipe for that. So cool. Well, anyways, I think that's about all we have time for today. I know you got to get wrapped up because you got to get to Ontario tomorrow.
Yes.
So I'd love to thank you for being on the very first episode of Genesis TV. I think we covered lots here today.
Thank you, Roar.
No problem. Thank you. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this. And don't forget, Genesis Nutrition, we're here to help you live longer, stronger, and better.